Welcome to the Mediocre to Magnificent podcast. I'm your co-host, Braxton Matson, and your host, Lee A. Williams, and I just want to say thank you for tuning in because you are what makes this pure magnificence. You are the ripple effect of magnificence, and we are going to bring you a message that will give you insight, inspire you, motivate you, and challenge you to not only grow in your magnificence, but let you know that you are magnificent in everything you do. So stay tuned, you don't want to miss it.
Lee,
Yes, sir.
it's good to see you, man.
Yes, sir. Good seeing you.
It's magnificent
Oh, wow.
to see you.
You upgraded it, huh?
Yeah, you gotta upgrade it, man.
You
If
gotta
it sounds
upgrade
like if it sounds like it's just like, you know,
Yeah.
you just gotta up it a little
Just
bit.
up it.
Just up it a little bit.
Just a little. Can we
Just
get
a little.
little bit more out of you, man?
Yeah.
That's good.
But okay, so you got another interesting story.
I mean,
You always have interesting stories, man.
well, I appreciate you saying that. I hope the listeners think they're interested too. But I just like to
Yeah, you like to tell your stories,
tell
man.
stories, man. Sometimes it might be like, no, you just try to
Stretch it in or
stretch
something?
to find content, man. It's like, no, but in my own life, in my own walk, I like to glean
Yeah.
and see, like, okay, what did it mean?
What did it mean?
What can I take away from this? So I'm hiking at Dawson. It's a trail for people that haven't heard.
You doing like the short loop?
Yeah,
Okay.
just the 3.3.
Mm-hmm.
But this on this hike, man, I came upon 3 acorns, man.
3 acorns.
You know, people are like, man, I see acorns all the time. Oak tree outside my yard, man.
It's like, yeah, aren't you supposed to see acorns out there?
Yeah, there's oaks all around. But it was 3 acorns, and they were bright green.
Okay, so they were relatively fresh.
They were fresh,
Yeah.
and like the stem part was still on.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and some of it might be like, okay, well, I've hiked a lot. For the people that's been listening for a long time, they know.
Yeah.
You've been out there. But for me to see, it's like, man, there's 3 bright green acorns. Like, the deer haven't got yet. The squirrels haven't got to it yet.
Yeah.
I just want to, what's up with the acorn? Info spine,
Yeah.
So, the acorn is a symbol of nature and life for several reasons. So the first reason, man, is growth and potential.
Growth and potential.
The acorn is a seed that has potential to grow into a mighty oak tree.
Okay, that makes sense.
This symbolizes the potential for growth and transformation that exists within all of us. It reminds us that even the smallest seed can grow into something strong and magnificent. Now, I'm looking this up,
You looked it up, huh?
and it says strong and magnificent. But just think about this, like, for your growth and your potential.
Yeah.
Like, just sometimes you have to be reminded of, like,
Yeah,
hey,
it's like it's a small thing. Like even yourself, you would look at it as a small thing. It's like, oh man, like I really have this passion or drive to do something, but
Right.
you internalize it as something smaller than everything else you got going on.
right,
But it's like, no, it's got the potential.
it's got the potential.
It's just you gotta feed it.
Right. And so, sometimes, like, so that's the thing, like, I'm looking at, it was bigger, these were bigger than a quarter size.
Yeah.
So, sometimes, like, oh, I see those kind all the time. Well, I'm just telling you my story.
Right.
I used to see, like, the smaller than a dime size, including the stem. These were bigger than a quarter. And, that, I've seen the squirrels chew them or they're just remnants of it.
Yeah.
Only the stem left. 3 bright green, and in my perspective, big acorn. So it's like, compared to the oak,
Yeah.
it's
Small.
small and has potential. But in this instance, why were they so big and so bright for me to see? I think because
Aware,
I'm supposed to see,
yeah.
like, it's supposed to stick out. Like, man, look at these old. But then it's like, just to say, for the listener, for myself, to internalize, like, hey, even though your growth is small, you're growing,
Yeah.
and that it has the potential to be strong and magnificent, like the mighty oak.
All right.
So stay the course, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just don't get distracted. Just keep in what you're doing.
Yeah.
What do you think? Like,
Yeah, I feel like it reminds me of like the whole, like if you ever, I know you, because you live down in California, like the red oak, like
oh yeah, sequoia and redwood.
sequoias and stuff. So we were there, and just to see the size of these trees,
Yeah,
like we live in Georgia.
yeah.
Like we just have pine trees
Yeah.
and they're not, I mean, they're nowhere near the size of these trees over there.
Yeah.
And just to know that that came from some tiny, like an acorn,
Yeah.
and grew into this huge, massive tree.
Right.
But if you were to look at the timeline it took it to get that big,
Gotta look at the
hundreds of years.
time. Yeah. Process takes time, man.
I mean, even if you look at the pine trees, there's shallow roots and it's not strong.
Yeah.
But when you have something small, it takes time. Like if it's really truly like to grow, have a roots,
Mm-hmm.
it's a big tree. I mean, it can be a big tree,
Right.
but it's like you said, it's like taking the time and the effort to make it a reality and know it's gonna take time.
Right.
Like, but
I mean,
still
and then
be
you gotta
true
even
to
think
it.
about this: the growth and potential. And it's like, like you say, okay, well, the squirrels usually eat them. So if you think like, okay, or in this case, a human comes and picks them up,
Right.
it's like, how? And I mean, that leads right into the next point that came up with the 3 acorns. Each one has its own. It's like the resiliency.
Yeah.
Second point is resiliency. Of like, okay, acorns are able to survive harsh conditions and weather, such as drought or cold temperatures. The resilience and ability to withstand challenges can be seen as a metaphor for the strength and perseverance needed to overcome obstacles in our own lives. If you're wanting to become a mighty oak, and you got squirrels basically eating the acorn,
Yeah.
to actually see when you walk in the hike in the woods and say, oh man, look at this, look how big that oak tree is. The squirrels didn't get that one.
Right. They get a few.
the deer didn't get that one. So it's like to tie in, for my own journeys, to be resilient. Like no matter what's going on in your life, like
Yeah, it's like knowing you can weather the storm.
yeah, that's what it just said.
You just weather the storm. Be raining, winter, all seasons, like it's still there.
Still there.
Yeah.
And that's, where is that not needed, man?
Everywhere.
To say, hey, man,
Yeah.
no matter what you got going on, man, weather the storm. And don't stay in the storm.
I've heard it in a way like
Excuse me.
it's like the storm. How did it go? It's like when you like even like the storm is for you
Yeah.
in a way. I mean, it's for you. You're gonna get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you weather it, something comes out of it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, just seeing like a lot of other seeds, you know, like thinking about it, like other plants,
Yeah.
like you got the seasonal plants, like you can see it, like, and they don't come back.
Yeah.
And then some of them, like you see them during the springtime, and then they're dormant
Yeah. Yeah.
in the wintertime,
Yeah. Yeah.
but then they come back when it's time.
Yeah.
Where like the acorn is like, it sits there for a while, and then it starts to grow, but at the same time, like the oak tree's still there
Yeah.
during all the storms and the seasons. Like it's still there.
It's still there.
So it's
Man,
like,
I've did some gardening, man, and if you you know, the acorns fall. I don't know who puts an oak tree by a garden, but just that's a whole nother thing. But
how do you get them up, man? How do you get acorns up?
you have to pull the oak by its root, and
Yeah.
sometimes if you pull it correctly, you'll pull and you'll see
the acorn.
You'll see the acorn.
Yeah, I've had that happen before.
But if you don't get enough of the root, like if you just get
It'll
the
come
top
back.
off,
It'll
it
come right
grows
back.
But every time it gets stronger. So that's the resiliency of what we're talking about in this instance. It's like life is coming at you. The way I tell the kids is like, okay, what happens when life punches you in the face? Like, because life's swinging and it's gonna punch, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna get knocked down. You're gonna stay down. You're gonna get up. And the resiliency to say like, okay, I pulled this, and I didn't get it, and it grew back stronger. That's the part of it. Like, no matter what you face and what takes place in your life, through your trials, through your tribulation, do you come back stronger? Especially once you tap into the thought process. The whole reason why you went through that is to be able to help liberate somebody else and free somebody else from their bondage. But you want to play games and be stuck in your crap.
Right.
Or whatever that circumstance is. And it's like, no, don't let the enemy trick you out of this. This is, it point blank says acorns are able to survive harsh conditions.
Harsh conditions.
What more are we able to withstand if an acorn can?
Yeah.
Just saying. That's what we're talking about. So then it's like, okay, hey, the third acorn, 3 acorns, right? Nourishment, man. And it's like the acorn is a source of nourishment. But we already said that for squirrels and deer. So it's literally like,
it literally, like, it's sacrificial in a way.
It's literally like so many fall because we gotta feed the animal.
Right.
But this symbolizes the interconnectedness of all living things and the importance of respecting and caring for God's creation. But then if you say, like, how we've been trying to take it back to my own walk and my own journey of like, okay, how are you nourishing your soul?
Yeah.
That's why I'm out there on the hike. Emma's movement for me. That feeds my soul. It's one of the acorns, a reminder, like, make sure you're nourishing your soul. I'm wearing the Honor Your Message shirt today. Like, are you honoring your message? It's literally like, okay, you're growing. You have the potential to, your company, your business, whatever, has the potential to, your marriage has the potential to be magnificent. There's going to be life that's going to happen. You got to be resilient in it. There's going to be things that's going to come. And in the process of this, are you nourishing? But then the acorn can be like, the same way that acorn is nourishing the animals, how are you living your life? Are you living your life that nourishes something?
Right.
Like, are you bringing value? Are you adding value to the situation, to the circumstance, to creation? And I like to take that to the level of like, honor your message. You're on purpose with yourself, and by you being on purpose, that's how you're showing up in the kingdom. And in my perspective, when you're showing up on perspective and purpose for the kingdom, that helps the kingdom. That nourishes the kingdom.
Yeah.
That plays a role for the kingdom. The same way the acorns play a role for the squirrel and for the deer. What role are you playing?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you just going to be
Yeah.
not connected to that?
Yeah, from like, thinking about it that way, it's like the oak tree produces so much, but there's a reason why it overproduces, because it's like it's nourishing other things, and it's like it's a giving. For me, it would be like more of a giving aspect to it, and if anything, like if you're lacking. Or if you feel like you're lacking, I've heard it put like if you feel like you're lacking something, it's probably because you're not giving that one thing. You know?
Yeah, that's good.
And it's so looking at it that way, it's like the oak tree's giving. He's like it's there.
Yeah.
Like even if the deer eat it, the squirrels eat it, it still has enough to produce more acorn trees or oak trees.
Yeah, just working backwards is like you got to be resilient to grow to your true potential.
Right.
So you can feed the kingdom of God.
Mm-hmm. And it all comes from a giving aspect. Like you got to, even if you don't feel like you have that thing to give, you have something you can give.
Oh, you got something.
You have something you can give.
Got something.
And that last point with the acorn, I feel like that's a big one.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's a recycling of the whole process of, helping others.
Life.
Yeah. It's nature. Circle of life.
I think sometimes people don't. There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
From God, like just in nature.
In nature, yeah, I know.
And people don't understand. Like
It's.
Yeah, man. So I was like, they caught me off guard. So I was like, let me look at this, man. To me, they were huge, man.
Yeah, the big ones are unique. It's almost like, because it's green, so it's like, was it too heavy?
Yeah, so it just fell off.
And it fell off.
And so are these the ones that are just prime picking for the animals?
Yeah.
Or these the ones that, because when I was weeding, it'd be the small ones.
Yeah, the little tiny ones.
It's like, oh, okay, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So then that lets you know something like, oh, you think you got to be something, you got to have a huge idea. You got to be some big, extravagant. It's like,
It ain't got to be like that. No.
Take what you have. Take what God's given you. Stay the course and be resilient with it.
Right.
And it'll happen for you, man.
It will.
Yeah, so that's
being resilient.
Yeah, man. The 3 acorns, man.
3 acorns.
That's what I got today.
That's interesting, man. I thought it was I never thought of acorns like that. Like, really.
Yeah.
Because, like, when I thought of acorns, it's usually like with deer hunting.
Oh, really?
Like when I used to go deer hunting with my dad.
Yeah.
There'd be a point where it's like, oh man, we got acorns. It's like, yeah, this is where the deer's gonna be.
This is where the deer's gonna
But you know, because it's like it's providing something for something. You know? And then the deer's providing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a unique way to look at it.
Yeah, so it's just like, so that's good. That's a good way to end.
Yeah.
What are you providing?
Mm-hmm.
The kingdom.
What is it?
Find that out, man. Till next time.
This is your co-host here, Braxton Matson, and Lee and I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. We hope you've enjoyed it just as much as we did making it, but we couldn't do it without you. So please hit that like button, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Let us know what topic or subject that you would like us to talk about in your journey from mediocre to magnificent. But most of all, share it. Be the ripple effect of magnificence. and know that you are magnificent in everything you do. Till next time.